Hello everyone. Have you ever heard spiderwebs contain medicinal values, or how the tea bags we use today were invented, or the burgers you take delivery sitting inside your car? Have you ever wondered how really the concept started of drive-through service? Well, today I am gonna tell you about all these facts, also more interesting facts. Stay tuned till the last. Why McDonald's introduced drive-through service? Well, here is the answer. It's due to the military. The first McDonald's drive-through was installed in a restaurant based in Sierra Vista, Arizona, located near the Fort Huachuca military installation. Military rules forbid the soldiers from wearing their military uniforms in public, and they weren't about to change into civilian clothes just to grab a burger and run back to base. So restaurant manager David Rich came up with a solution: cut a hole into the wall and allow members of the military to pick up their orders without stepping out of their car. The convenience and simplicity of the idea quickly caught on. Well, I think using tea bags probably makes you look rich, isn't it? Anyways, those tea bags were an accidental invention. In 1908, New York tea merchant Thomas Sullivan sent samples of tea leaves to some of his customers in small silken bags. Many of the recipients assumed that the bags were supposed to be used in the same way as the metal infusers. So they put the entire bag into the teapot rather than emptying out its contents. After such positive feedback from the happy accident, Sullivan designed intentional tea bags for commercial production. Well, let's come to the next fact. You all might have a Twitter account, or those who don't have a Twitter account might have seen the bird as its logo, right? So how many of you know the name of the bird? If you truly want to be among the savviest social media users out there, you should know that the Twitter bird has an official name. Yes, it has an official name, and its name is Larry. Larry the bird. Now let's move on to the next fact. Kit Kats are so delicious, chocolatey outside and crispier inside. So now tell me, how many of you know that the filling inside the Kit Kats are made from damaged Kit Kats? Yes, you heard it right. All those Kit Kat bars that are somehow made imperfect during production due to air bubbles, weirdly shaped wafers, or some other issue blah blah blah, aren't tossed out but instead ground up into a fine paste and turned into a filling that's then incorporated back into the production process to create new Kit Kat bars. It's the ongoing circle of chocolatey life. So, do you know what is the smallest reptile and when it was found? Well, it's the current year only. This 2021 reported the smallest reptile in the earth. A tiny chameleon was discovered in northern Madagascar, which was just 28.9 millimeters. So if you love tender and juicy meat, then this fact is totally for you. Pineapple works as a natural meat tenderizer. It is packed with the enzyme bromelain, which breaks down protein chains, making it an ideal marinade for meats when you have very less time. Also, another fact for pineapple is that the bromelain present in it is so strong that the pineapple processors have to wear protective gloves, or else over the time the enzyme eats away the skin on their face and hands, leaving it dry. So I think now you know how to get tender and juicy meat. So tell me, how long could you hold your pee? Because the fact you're gonna hear now will blow your mind. It's a creature which can hold its pee for up to 8 months. Yes, 8 months. And any guesses which creature it is? Comment down if you know. Wood frogs in Alaska have been known to hold the urine for up to 8 months. The urine actually helps to keep the animal alive while it hibernates, with special microbes in their gut that recycle the urea, that is the urine's main waste, into nitrogen. If you were under the impression that the human body had finished evolving, you need to rethink. Some people have an extra bone in their knee, and it's getting more common. It turns out that some people have a bone in their knee called the fibula. And while this particular little bone with an unknown purpose was once fading away over the last century and a half, it's gotten more common now. Back in 1875, nearly 18% of people examined had a fibula. That number dropped to 11% by 1918. However, by 2018, 39% of individuals had this mysterious bone, and the number is still increasing unknowingly. Well, the fact you're gonna hear now was a bit shocking for me, because I always knew Pringles are potato chips. And if you think the same, please do write in comments and let us know. The next time you see a can of Pringles, take a closer look and you won't see the word chips anywhere on the packaging. That's because Pringles aren't made up of thinly sliced potatoes, but instead dehydrated potato flakes pressed into their signature parabolic shape. That makes them less greasy. Do you have an iPhone? I think many of you who are listening this video must have an iPhone. And you don't know who made the first iPhone? Then this fact is totally for you. Yes, Apple was not the first one to make iPhone. The first mobile device to be called an iPhone was made by Cisco, not Apple. It allowed the user to use the voice functions of Skype without a computer. Just 22 days later, Apple announced its own product and Cisco was sued for trade infringement. The lawsuit was ultimately settled out of the court and both companies were allowed to keep using the name. However, I'm sure that no one have ever heard of the Cisco iPhone. Spiderwebs were used as bandages in ancient times. I don't know how many of you were knowing this, but probably this is something very new. In ancient Greece and Rome, doctors used spiderwebs to make bandages for their patients. Spiderwebs supposedly have natural antiseptic and antifungal properties which can help keep wounds clean and prevent infection. It's also said that the spiderwebs are rich in vitamin K, which helps to promote clotting. Your blood makes up about 8% of your weight. The human body contains everything from muscles and bones to organs and bacteria. But when it comes to overall weight, we never consider blood. But blood turns out to make 8% of the number you see on the scale, according to the American Society of Hematology. Personally, I never heard of this fact. I don't know how many of you really know about it. If you already know, please tell me in comments. So the fact is, cruise ships have their own morgues. When travelers take cruise, they are focused on the sunshine and the seawater. But those who run the ship have to consider the practical side of being out of the ocean for days at a time. And that includes what happens when somebody passes away on board. In order to deal with this unfortunate reality, most cruise ships have their own morgue that can accommodate multiple bodies. That's it for today. For more such interesting facts, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to comment down your favorite fact. We'll meet you soon in another video. Till then, take care and stay healthy. Bye-bye.